Hey everyone, welcome to week 14 of B-Rom's blog, and glad you're here joining us tonight. We're in a somewhat familiar place inside the WYMT studios, recording this evening just after the 11 o'clock news on Friday night, April the 8th. So glad you could join us. Glad to be back and filling in and having a good time with some old friends. Get into the meat and potatoes of the blog tonight. Basically, the big news this week is I did go back to the doctor on Tuesday to see the GI specialist. Now, let me give you a little bit of background on that. I had my gallbladder out in 2011. So I've had some ongoing, the normal issues you have after gallbladder. But for a little while, about 2 or 3 weeks before, actually probably about 4 weeks before I went to see Dr. Johnson to start the weight loss journey, I was having a lot of stomach issues, cramping, aching, extremes on both ends of the spectrum when it comes to using the bathroom. I think you can put two and two together on that without me getting into too much graphic detail. And it just wouldn't go away. My primary care doctor had tried to work on some things with some antibiotics and things in case there was some infection, but nothing seemed to be working. So Dr. Johnson wanted me to see the GI specialist, Dr. Chaya, over at Pike Medical Center, to see if there was any ongoing major issues, because some issues, for instance, Crohn's disease. If you have Crohn's disease, you can't have surgery. So when you're getting ready to go into a procedure where they cut part of your stomach out, it's a situation that you have to make sure everything's going to work out well and there's going to be no complications. So I went to see Dr. Chai on Tuesday. The good news is, since I've started the diet, things have gotten a lot better with my stomach. It's stabilized a lot. So Dr. Chai thinks it may be something I was, I don't want to say necessarily allergic to, but something I didn't agree with that I used to eat food-wise all the time. So he's going to run some tests, CAT scan, and some blood work and some other tests, if you get my drift. But I don't have to be scoped, so that's good news. So I got to go back and see him on the 5th of July. So it's going to be at least probably mid-July at this point before we have surgery, because he has to sign off and clear me, make sure that I'm ready to go for surgery. I go back on the 22nd to see Dr. Metu. He's the sleep specialist. Try to get cleared for that. Of course, we've talked about in the past, I have sleep apnea. It had gotten a lot better in recent months because I've been sleeping more on my side, but I did have to go back on the machine just to make sure that I won't stop breathing when they put me under general anesthesia for surgery. So just checking all that, so getting all the ducks in a row and getting all that checked off. So I've been glad of that. I was going to give you a meal plan for this week, but I forgot my notebook at home. So I can tell you, give you at least a brief rundown of what I eat. For instance, for lunch today, I had linguine, fettuccine alfredo, a salad, some light dressing, even a few croutons, and apples. And we buy a lot those apples in the little containers. It's got maybe like caramel or peanut butter or whatever. But keep in mind, if you get the peanut butter, it's a lot more calories. The ones with the caramel in it, the dip is only 100 calories. They usually have either green apples or galas or whatever. But those are pretty good. And then I had what else did I have? I had a pudding cup, which was 100 calories. So getting kind of a few things in the mix there, and all that was about 600 calories. So that's not a bad lunch. It might be a little bit more of a bigger lunch than usual. Than I had a sub for dinner. No cheese, can't have cheese, too many calories, and some chips and some apples and a water. So, and then I had a yogurt for breakfast this morning. I have that sometimes, especially if I'm trying to keep my calorie count low. I have been trying to cut back on my calories a little bit here lately, but sometimes it's a little bit tough. So, just been trying to work through that a little bit. But I have not lost a whole lot more weight. Dr. Chai, I had lost 2 pounds from when I went to see Dr. McDougall about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago today. So I lost a little bit more, but not quite what I was hoping to. I was hoping to be below 400 at this point, but we're still pushing. My exercise routine is still off a little bit. I had only got to exercise 2 days this week. It was 45 minutes each time. But one day, for instance, on Monday, I did 45 minutes at 5 resistance, which is about 5 out of 12 on the elliptical that I use on the elliptical. So that was pretty good workout. That was more than 1,000 steps and about 500 or 600 calories. But on Wednesday, I only could do 30 minutes on the elliptical, and I had to do the other 15 on the treadmill. So I guess it's still 40 minutes of workout time, but you're not getting as much workout with the legs, or with the treadmill that you would get on the elliptical with your legs and the rest of your body. So kind of off and on with that routine. We're getting ready to we're a big project going on at work is we're trying to get our TV studio back up and running at the college. I've talked about that in previous videos. So that launches Tuesday. So we've been really working hard, putting in some long hours on that one this last couple of weeks. So I've been off my routine with the exercise a little bit, but hoping to get back on that a little bit more consistently next week. At least if I can get 3 days a week, I think that'll be pretty good. So hopefully we'll get below 400 soon. I feel like I've plateaued a little bit, but getting there slowly but surely. So looking forward to that. As for going back to the meals briefly for just a minute, I know a lot of folks kind of want to know, what exactly do you eat? Well, I can tell you this, give you a broad overview. Meat-wise, I eat chicken, and I eat pork, and I eat fish, and shrimp, all grilled, of course, the occasional grilled steak, but I stay away from a lot of hamburgers because it's just fatty meat, so stay away from your fatty meats. I eat a lot of that vegetable medley in the bags, that you can get in the produce section of your grocery store, that you poke holes in them, and you put them in the microwave for about 4 minutes, and they steam up real good, and they put a little bit of, I can't believe it's not butter on there, very little, about a tablespoonful, because that gets into calories pretty quick too, and some salads, of course. Excuse me. Sorry. And I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. But you got to be careful with that because there's a lot of natural sugars. So I've been eating between 12 and 1,400 calories for the most part each day. Sometimes a little closer to 1,600. Fiber One makes a lot of good 100 calorie, or not necessarily 100 calorie, but a lot of low calorie filling items. Like they have these cookies that are pretty good. They have peanut butter and double chocolate, and that's kind of been taking care of my sweet cravings, along with the 100 calorie packs of pudding. Little pudding cups are only 100 calories, so most of them anyway. So that's good. So that's been helpful to me to kind of curb my sweet cravings. And I've been doing pretty good. I had to, like I said, talked about in the last blog, I had a little bit of a rough patch last weekend, but things are going to happen. You know how that goes. And doing well, I think. I really do. I think we're doing well. I was a little bit disenchanted, a little disappointed the last blog we did, but I think it's going to be okay. I'm moving in the right direction, and I haven't gained weight back. So even though we've really slowed down the weight loss, I think that's still a good thing. I'm going to get deep for just a minute here. A lot of folks have been asking me here lately about why I'm doing this, and a lot of folks have also been talking to me about, well, if you keep losing weight like this, why do you need to have surgery? Well, I'll address that one first. I have been big my entire life. I don't keep weight off. I lose weight fairly easily if I work at it, but I don't keep it off. So I know that if I lose 100 more pounds, or if I lose 200 more pounds, it's not going to stay off. So I've got to take some drastic measures, and I appreciate and I respect folks saying that, but it's me. It's my life. I'm the one that has to do it. So I'm the one that's in it for the long haul, and I have to do what I have to do to make myself be healthy, and that's the biggest reason that I'm doing all this. That's the main reason I want to be healthy. I'm 33 years old in May, and I don't have any major health problems. I have hypothyroidism, but I take medicine for that. It's been well regulated. I don't have high blood pressure. I'm not diabetic. I have psoriasis, but that's not really anything bad. I don't have high cholesterol, so I'm trying to hold off all this at this point. So while I appreciate the love and the concern about not having surgery, there's no way at this point, unless something drastic happens, that I'm going to back out of the surgery, because I really do need it, and I need to lose a lot of weight, more so than I can do with just diet and exercise. So kudos to folks who can do that and keep it off, but I just don't think that I'm one of those people. I know my history, my track record. So something else that I kind of wanted to touch on. I'd be a liar. I really would be a liar if I said this is all 100% for health. 95% of this is for health, but you can't be a human being and say some of this isn't for vanity, and it really is. And now I don't want anybody to get the wrong impression that, oh, he's just doing this to look good or whatever. I'm really comfortable with the way I look now. I think, being egotistical for a second, I think I'm a fairly handsome guy, and I think that I don't need to do anything in that department. I've got a wonderful, beautiful wife who loves me, so I'm not looking for a woman or anything like that. But you're lying to yourself if you think that you're not judged on how you look. I mean, that's real honest. I was bullied as a kid because of how I looked, and that I looked different than anybody, and I was bigger than anybody. But you know what? That made me stronger. And I know a lot of folks are out there saying, "Don't worry about that. Don't worry about how people, how people judge you." And I really don't. But part of it, at a deep level, is vanity. I mean, it really is, because you sweat all the time when you're big. You have trouble getting around, and people are watching you and they're looking at you. And it's like if you sit down on a chair, oh, is he going to break that chair, or oh, is he going to smell the chair up? Because of course, I'm religious about hygiene habits, and I know some bigger folks have trouble with that just because people don't understand when you're a big person, it's hard to get to some areas to make sure they're really good and clean. So it's something that I really have struggled with my whole life. I got to a point, and I'll be really brutally honest here, where I was having trouble getting around to wipe myself after I went to the bathroom. So that was big part of the reason I said something has got to be done. I'm not healthy. I'm not comfortable, and it's a struggle for me to get back and forth. I'm literally sitting here sweating a little bit right now, and I've gotten a little bit better at that since I've started losing weight. But I put a long sleeve shirt, some dress clothes on, and I get the slightest bit hot, the sweat starts. So yeah, it's a little bit vanity, and like I said, I'm not going into this to be a beauty star or a beauty star, a beauty king, I guess in my case, or a movie star or anything like that. But it's hard not to think about how people look at you and how people judge you. But again, I know I've went into a big ramble on this, but that's not why I'm doing it. But people asking me why I'm doing it, that kind of makes you think about it for a little bit and kind of like why would you do this? So a piece of advice: don't judge people on how they look. Don't judge them because they're bigger. Don't discriminate against people because they're bigger. They can't help it. I mean, I know people out there, well, you put the food in your mouth, you're eating. Well, guess what? A lot of folks do that for a lot of different reasons. I was a stress eater. I was an emotional eater. And while it may not be, I'm not making excuses for that. That's just the way it was. So a lot of people go through a lot of different things, and food is kind of their comfort, their self-medication for the most part. So just don't be so quick to judge, and don't bully. Please don't bully big people. I know a lot of kids can be mean, and we all were a little bit mean growing up, but it's hard. You can't, you just can't. You don't understand how bad it hurts somebody when you bully them, and my childhood, parts of it were, and I'll just be blunt, were hell. I mean, they really were. So it's something you had to take into consideration. Don't be like that. Don't be like that. So I know I've kind of gotten off on a tangent here and started to ramble a bit. So I'm going to sign this up and wrap it up. But I'm going to try to keep the below 400 goal alive and get there before too long. Hopefully in the next week or so, we're going to work hard at it and try to get more exercise in. I think it'll be the biggest thing. I think I've kind of got my food down a little bit, maybe make a couple adjustments. And I promise you next week I'll get a full list, and I'll have my notebook at home, and we'll get this updated for you or take it to work, because of course we've established in the previous blogs that my internet at home is not the best. So I'll say so long for now, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a good weekend. Have a great week, and hopefully if nothing crazy happens, we'll do week 15 next week. I may try to step it up way on Friday. That way we got a little something to talk about there. But ask questions, leave comments. Hopefully, I know a lot of folks have said that this blog has been inspirational to them, and I hope that continues to be the case. It's what we're working for. So that's what I'm doing. And again, as we talked a little bit about, vanity and looks in this one, I want to stress again the biggest reason for me to do this is health. So I just kind of wanted to bring up the elephant in the room when it comes to a situation like that for people, because a lot of people just don't understand what it's like to be big, and it's not always a fun thing. So, all right, we'll see you later, and have a good weekend, and talk to you soon.